Notre Dame just put the college football world on notice. And I want to talk about it because maybe it'll fix college football postseason. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick Frazier, and welcome to Water Cooler Talk Sports. If this is your first time here at Water Cooler Talk, please thank you so much for joining us here. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. Comment on the video, share the video. Thank you so much for rocking with us. If this is your 100th time, your 50th time, your 1,000th time, however many times you watch, if you're a returning viewer, please like this video, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, share the content, man. We thank you so much for continuing to rock with us here around the water cooler. And we appreciate your presence because it's always appreciated. Let's get into the conversation this day here. Notre Dame has informed a lot of bowl games and bowl participants and on bowl that they will not be accepting any bowl invites this year. Now, a lot of people can look at this and be like, oh man, it looks like Notre Dame is taking a ball home, taking a ball, running home and running, and doesn't want to play with everybody else. A lot of people are looking at it saying, man, Notre Dame just being Notre Dame. Notre Dame think they're the stuff. They smelling themselves, or whatever euphemism you want to use. A lot of people are saying it. But let's just say what if Notre Dame is doing is best for them. Let's just say Notre Dame is doing what's best for them. Now let's go back a little bit. Let's have the conversation. So if you have not known, which I'm pretty sure you have, the college football playoff rankings came out. All right. They came out earlier today, as a matter of fact. And I'm pretty sure we all sat down and watched it. Notre Dame was ranked number 10 in the previous poll. Alabama was 9, and Miami was right outside the rankings. The rankings come out today. Miami has jumped Notre Dame in the rankings without having played a game. Neither team played a game, but Miami has jumped them without playing a game this past weekend, in conference championship weekend. Miami didn't play in their bowl game. Didn't play in their conference championship. Notre Dame is not in a conference. So a lot of people are asking the question, how could a Miami team that was ranked behind Notre Dame for majority of the season in the college football playoff rankings all of a sudden jump Notre Dame after conference championship weekend without having played a game, with neither team out having played a game? It's a question to ask. The process. How are they evaluating these teams is the question. Now, I've always asked the question, is it the 12 best teams or is it 12 most deserving teams that should be in? And my question, I always say it should be the 12 best teams. And there always is some bias around that question, because if certain teams are not in a position to where there is question around them, certain brands, let's put it like that. If there are certain brands that there's questioning around them getting into the playoff, the argument always comes up, we need the best teams in the playoff. We need the best teams in the playoff, or that's always the question, to give them some type of way to be able to say that team should be in the playoffs. If you look at the landscape of college football right now, from the beginning to the end, if you're looking at the landscape of college football right now, how can you not tell me that Notre Dame is not one of the 12 best teams in college football? Notre Dame, of course, yes, Notre Dame had a head-to-head loss to Miami. That is very true. I understand that. But if we are saying you need the 12 best teams in the playoff, Notre Dame should be in. Vanderbilt should be in there some kind of way, in my opinion. Notre Dame has a loss to Miami. Last second field goal, walk-off field goal that helped Miami win that game. First game of the season. Notre Dame loses that game to Miami on the road. Notre Dame loses to Texas A&M by 1 point at home. Okay. And all season long, Notre Dame has been a consistent team. They played Arkansas, who was the number 1 offense in the SEC. Only allowed that offensive team to score 13 points. They put up 56 against them. They played a ranked Pittsburgh team, beat them handily by 25, 30 points, if I'm not mistaken. They played a Syracuse team that played a Tennessee team to start the season, and Tennessee only beat them by 11 or 12, beat them 70-7. Notre Dame is one of the most consistent teams, one of the best teams, and they should be in these playoffs. They should be. That's just point blank period. They should be in the playoffs. If we're talking best teams, tell me 11 other teams that is better than Notre Dame. Just tell me. Don't without using the words head to head, without using strength of record, without using strength of schedule. Tell me just with your eye test what you have seen from this team on the field. What other teams are better than them right now? It's hard to say. When you watch them play, and let's just be real. I'm based in the South. I am based in the South. So I'm not sure if a lot of people here have seen Notre Dame play a lot of games and seen them play on the field and seen how they play on the field. Teams get better throughout the season. They do. They get better throughout the season. When you look at Notre Dame has been consistent and they have gotten progressively better. When you watch them on the field, they've gotten progressively better. Everybody knows Auburn is my team. Everybody knows I'm an Auburn football fan. Auburn Tigers, War Eagle all day. Everybody knows that. But everybody knows that if Auburn has, and everybody knows that Auburn went 5-7 this year. But everybody knows that if Auburn had a semblance of competence of an offense, that's not a 5-7 team. You know this. You can see that with your eyes. You can see that Auburn with a competent offense, even the AD said, if we just had an average offense, you're looking at potentially an 8-win team. You can see that. When you see Notre Dame play, you see a complete team. You see a team with a quarterback in CJ Carr that has gotten better each week they have played. You have seen the defense come out and be dominant against the opponents they have played against. If we're talking best teams, Notre Dame should be in the conversation. Flip that to Miami. Do you think Miami is one of the best teams in the country? Or do they just have the head-to-head win over Notre Dame? People talk about records. Okay, fine. You look at the ACC, fine. Okay, you say they play in the ACC. You can sit here and say that Notre Dame is not in the conference. But when you watch the teams play, when you have seen them play and you have seen them on the field, your eye should tell you that that team right there is really, really good. They play complementary football. But that team right there, they okay, they good. But I'm just saying, if I had to pick between those two, I'm probably picking this one over here, which is Notre Dame. I'll tell you this. If you were to ask the committee members in that committee room, which team was better, Notre Dame or Miami? Which one was better? I would probably say 11 of those committee members would probably say Notre Dame is the better team. And I think that the committee was hoping that BYU wins the Big 12 championship so that they would not have this issue. Because if that happens, BYU more than likely is in the college football playoffs, and Texas Tech is in there as well. So you probably don't even have Notre Dame or Miami in the playoffs at that time, because they were going to put Alabama in the playoffs either way. It was going to happen. But now that BYU goes and gets blown out against Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game, now you have to put both teams side by side, and you have to look at them and now you have to look at the numbers. Now the numbers come into play. And if the numbers look the same, now you're looking at it saying, okay, well, what's the common denominator? Head to head. Head to head is the common denominator. And Miami beat Notre Dame. And that's the reason why Miami's in the playoffs now. I'm not sitting here saying that Miami will lose in the first round. I don't know. They play Texas A&M in the first round. Texas A&M is going to be a tough out. They got to go to Cal. They got to go to Cal Field and play that game. Miami might come in here because of all the noise that's being talked. They may come out here and just dominate. They could. You tell me what you think about that percentage happening, if that happens or not. But what I will say is, and I'm going to keep saying it, the most consistent team in this playoff in this season that's out of the playoffs has been Notre Dame, and then second Vanderbilt. But this video is about Notre Dame. And Notre Dame not accepting bowl invites It's just their way of showing you and their way of protesting, saying we're one of the best teams in the conference, in the country. We should be in the prime time position because we are one of the best teams in the country. We have a brand that matters just as much as other teams do. So show us the same respect. They do. We talk about the SEC. The SEC does it all the time. They talk about how the SEC talks about how much better they are than everybody else. They talk about how deeper the conference is, how competitive the SEC is. We don't say nothing about that. But when Notre Dame says it, it says we're one of the biggest brands and one of the best brands and one of the best teams in the country. A lot of people are upset because a lot of people are upset at saying things like, nah, they don't want to compete. But here's the thing, though. A lot of this problem has to do with the postseason itself. You're seeing a lot of teams. Notre Dame's not the only one. If I'm not mistaken, I think Kansas State, I think Iowa State, I think those teams as well have decided that they're not going to play in bowl games. And I promise you this. I promise you this. The reason why they're not going to play in these bowl games is because they look at it as more work, more practice time, where they could literally be re-recruiting their roster and getting ready for the next year. They can really start getting off-season training started, or their off-season program, or their off-season acquisitions. We're gonna talk it's the NFL. They're literally in that part now. They're like, if I'm not playing in the playoffs, why do I need to go play in a bowl game when I can start earlier, getting myself ready and prepared to identify players who's going to be on this roster next year, identifying recruiting classes, high school recruiting classes, and trying to mine the transfer portal for guys who can come in and help us and fill the needs that we need to fill at. So am I mad at Notre Dame for not accepting a bowl bite? A bowl invite? No, not at all. They're doing what's best for them because of the situation that we put them in as fans, as college football, because we have made it to where it's either playoffs or nothing. Bowl games have become obsolete. They become obsolete. So am I mad at them? Nah. Do you, Notre Dame? Do you? Actually, I agree with you. Until you put the emphasis and you show how important bowl games are, like they used to be, then you will start seeing teams. You will start seeing teams be more inclined to go to these games. But because of the environment that we've created in college football, where it's playoffs or nothing, get ready to start seeing a lot of this happen in the future. Just saying. And I'm not mad at any team that does it. I agree with them. Do what's best for you, because guess what? You're trying to get to the college football playoff next year if you don't make it this year. Do what's best for you. Do what's best for your program to get to the college football playoff, as long as we keep putting emphasis on it. I said my piece.